Hello and welcome to the Winners Find a Way Show. I am your host, Trent Clark, CEO of Leadershipity, serial entrepreneur, worldwide speaker, speaking in over 17 countries, man. 5-star, wrote the book, Leading Winning Teams. And of course, I am a growth coach, helping a lot of companies scale up, grow, and build championship organizations and teams. Most people probably know me because I spent over 12 years of professional baseball coaching and 3 World Series. And today on the Winners Find a Way show, I have my good friend, Justin Ricklefs. What's up, buddy?
Hey man, it's good to be with you, Coach. And yeah, I need some speaking advice from you. 17 countries, that's wild, brother.
That's
But it's
wild. Yeah.
good to have you.
Yeah.
Good to have me. And thanks so much for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here, man.
Yeah, Justin Ricklefs is the CEO, founder of Guild Collective. This guy is all about storytelling. I love his, one of the programs, the Human First Brand Blueprint. I just think that's
Mm.
such a catchy deal. We're going to talk about that more. Kansas City guy. So, tough year because your Chiefs didn't go to a Super Bowl for once, which is kind of weird. And you are a former Chief employee, which is very good. We're going to go into that. U of Mizzou grad. Worked for them a little bit. You have your lovely bride of 23 years. Is she a Kansas City girl? Where'd you meet her?
She is, yeah. I tell the story that we were high school sweethearts. She tells a slightly different version of the same story, but we did go to the same high school. And she's a year older than me, so I outkicked my coverage from day one. But yeah, have been that's the greatest sales job of all time, is convincing her to say yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I'm gonna have to remember that. Like, yeah, hey, we were high school sweethearts. At least I thought so. You didn't know me yet, but like it was totally going. You were my high school sweetheart and just didn't know it yet.
Yeah, you
So
thought I was the annoying kid who kept pestering you at your job, but like we had a thing, babe, for sure.
yeah, there was chemistry. Yeah. So, well, listen, clear chemistry. You two have made 5 beautiful children together. I mean, you've got 4 lovely daughters and a teenage boy, man. It's an awesome time right there, having a 16-year-old, brother.
Yeah, I told him actually that, I mean, we're recording this in late February, and he got his license on Monday, the 23rd. His birthday was the 22nd. And we were driving back from him. He did pass. He got his license. He's a good kid, all that. And I was like, man, you became a little bit more of a man today. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, bro, it's going to be pretty dope for you to just be able to get in a car and drive. Like even just
Yeah.
that independence and that responsibility and that
Yeah.
it's an underrated parenting moment that we used to be terrified of. And now we're like, please, for the love, drive safely, of course, but please drive.
I'm not
Go to your-
taking you anywhere.
Yeah.
Daddy
Take-
Uber is
yeah.
over. Like the daddy
Go to your
Uber
own
is over.
practice. 100%. 100%.
The tips are terrible. I'm done with this job. You got to go do it on your own. And
Love
and I
being
can
with you,
feel
but
it.
drive yourself to practice. Yeah.
Yeah. And man, I love what you just said there because it's independence, right? My cool moment, I'm a New Year's Eve baby, right? So like your son, you fall on these dumb days where like, you can't get your license on your birthday because it's Sunday, right?
Right.
And so he's like, man, I got to wait till Monday. And I'm on New Year's Eve. There's not a government office in the world open, right?
Nope.
And being the last of 4 kids, my parents were like, yeah, do whatever. Like, go ahead.
Figure
Like,
it out, bro.
and yeah, and I drove on my permit the night of, and with the hopes that I didn't get pulled over. And if I did, I'd be like, hey, tomorrow I'll go get my thing, but it's not open till, the holiday's over. Unfortunately, nothing happened and I was fine and a responsible man there, that young man at the time. But
Yeah,
I
you
love it.
make some different decisions by kid 4 than you did at kid 1. At least we have. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did the same thing. It's like every now and then it's like, man, don't tell anybody. And here I am telling it on a podcast. Don't tell anybody, but you can drive to hoops practice. Just be super careful. And we're like life 360 him or whatever. And it's like
Yeah.
our oldest daughter, we would have never in a million years done that. But
Oh.
now we're like, bro, it's fine.
Yeah, I tell our oldest, like, hey, listen, man, it was all trial and error, bro. We really didn't know. We were like
We had no
trying to work
idea.
it out, like, we're trying to work. And listen, you had it pretty good, bro. You had it pretty good. And so yeah, it's great. So you got this marketing from the Guild Collective. That was built on really your background in sports. You did a lot of corporate sales, a lot of corporate storytelling within the University of Mizzou, the University of Memphis, the Kansas City Chiefs. And one of the things you're discovering along the way is like these organizations aren't aligned on their story, on where people really see them and get their value. Because I've seen this a lot. Justin, where internally everyone goes, oh, we make the best widget in the world. And everyone's like, I don't know, man, you just guys got cool colors on your brands and it's hot. like
100%.
Crap about your widget. So like your consumer doesn't see you like you see you, and you don't see them like they see themselves. And there's like big gap.
Yeah, huge gap. And one of the things that went off for me in those years, as I was kind of, I didn't know it at the time, but finishing my corporate career was before the entrepreneurial side of my story. And what kept coming up was this Seth Godin quote, and I'm paraphrasing it a little bit, but Seth's one of the greatest modern marketing and sales-minded people. Writes a daily email. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. And he said a version of, your brand is the story they tell about you when you're not in the room. And I'm like, oh, damn, because you got all these companies, well-intended, smart people, talented people, and they're out just showing up, talking about their products and services. And it would be like walking up to the neighborhood, outing, and you've never met someone, and you just start word vomiting on them and just start like abusing them with your annoyance, right? And just talking incessantly about your stuff and your wisdom and your intellect and how cool you are and where you went to school and all this, as opposed to going, hey, like, who are you? What's your story? And so at its most dumbed down version, it's like we as humans who make purchasing decisions are not interested, and we don't care about your stuff. We care about our stuff. We care about our pain, our hopes, our dreams, our futures, our beliefs, our kids' problems, our marriage challenges, our money problems, or whatever. Like, we're just walking around thinking about ourselves all the time. And so, but what brands do is like, hey, we want to interrupt that pattern and just keep talking about our brand and tell you about how awesome our product and service is. And then meanwhile, all these humans are like, don't care. And so go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
No, I think so. So this light bulb started to get gradually brighter in my awareness of like, oh, these people don't have product or corporate problems. They have framing problems. They have story problems. And if it's like if you're looking out in the woods trying to find a big buck in the backyard and you've got binoculars and you're looking the wrong way and you're like trying to find them. You're like, where the hell are the deer? And then someone comes and flips the binoculars around and it's like, oh, there it is. And it's just, we've been looking the wrong way at quote unquote marketing. And it's like, it's not about the company at all. It's about the hero of the story, as Donald Miller would call it, which is the customer.
Yeah, I know Donald Miller. Good, sharp dude. Very good. Always delivers that customer-centric message, which is always good. Let's talk a little bit about a couple things with this, because you've written a great book called Give a Damn, right? And we're going to talk about that. Tell them, Justin, real quick, where they can find you. You are on LinkedIn. Web address is guildcollective.com.
Yeah, you nailed it. Guildcollective.com. The book's on Amazon. You just search Give a Damn and it will pop up a big bright yellow cover with an orange flame on it. And then, LinkedIn's where I'm publishing random and somewhat strategic, hopeful thoughts on the internet, mostly on a daily basis. So those three areas are probably the best.
If they want to reach out to you, you can reach him at justin@guildcollective.com. I'm going to flash that here in a little bit. We're going to give away his first chapter of that book. If you email Justin directly, you can get that first chapter of the book for everybody who's tuning in on Winners Find a Way today. Little gift from Justin to you, which is always fun. Let's talk a little bit about, I want to come back to this, the sales aspect, the avatar, all that. That's very important to me. First, I want to start with a little bit of, you must love sports. You're doing the corporate sales thing. You're involved with the University of Missouri. You're involved with the University of Memphis. You've done some entrepreneurial things. You get back in with the Chiefs, which has got to be fun coming back home to work for the Chiefs, right? Your timing's not great because you came back to work for the Chiefs when they weren't going to all the Super Bowls. But still, gotta like Arrowhead, everything else, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was my number one, still is. Like as a kid, you grow up, and we grew up in the Marty Ball era, so Marty Schottenheimer and Carl Peterson, and in the way that Lamar Hunt, the founder, orchestrated this environment, this there's barbecue and tailgates, and you got kids throwing the football around, and you're going with mom or dad or people from church, whatever. And the environment and that experience became this catalyst for a generation of people. And KC was in a lot of ways this sleepy little cow town. And the Chiefs and for sure the Royals and others have had put them on the map. And so, as a kid, I remember going to a playoff game against the Colts, and the high was like 18 degrees, and we were sitting on styrofoam blocks because the damn seats were so cold. And you just did crazy stuff to watch a football game, right? Because it was in your heart and your experience, and those moments were so meaningful. And so, to have the opportunity 2 different times to work for that organization in the front office was incredibly meaningful personally, and then professionally learned so much about executive relationships, about how to level up, how to, and to the point of the podcast, to win. And even when there was not the exact level of performance on the team that they've experienced the last decade, the expectation was still to win. It wasn't, we didn't get a free pass when the team was 2-14 or 4-12.
Yeah.
Like, it was still our job to go find revenue and grow revenue and build relationships and have a return on those investments. And so, I could talk about that for hours, because it was such a fundamental and meaningful relational and professional time in my life, for sure.
Yeah, I'm always astounded by Kansas City. I call it like a little big town, right? Like, because it's not gigantic, right? And yet, like, the town it feels intimate. It feels, I'm involved with the entrepreneurs organization. They just held their regional there called Eccentric. And of course, all these entrepreneurs come into town, and like, it's just, man, the entrepreneurs of EO and YPO are like, they are the business owners of Kansas City. They all know one another because they're in those organizations, and it's very unique. And of course, obviously known for your barbecue. And Jason Sudeikis now,
100%.
Certainly Ted Lasso's made it, a destination right now. You guys have a Ted Lasso museum going on. As many Kansas City references as Jason Sudeikis makes in the show. It's pretty funny. I like to tell people, like, George Wendt is his uncle from Cheers. And no one ever talks about that. Norm on Cheers, like, that's his uncle, and a lot of people don't know that. Like, Jason got into the business. Yeah, he got in the business, I think, because of family, and saw that in the family lineage, and said, "Hey, I think I could do this." And he was great on SNL when he started out, a lot of comedy stuff.
Well, what's cool about, I appreciate that. I mean, I'm biased because I grew up here. But Kansas City is this really interesting place. The older I get, the more I talk about energy and kind of just understanding when energy is aligned and flowing and connected. And KC has this really wild energy right now. There's a lot of growth. There's a lot of economic development. There's a lot of movement towards it. And it's like, bro, we don't have a mountain range, an ocean, or any, the climate kind of sucks sometimes, but there's the heartbeat of these people here. And even to use Sudeikis, like, he and Riggle and Rudd and Heather Gart, like, there's a crew of them that come back and they do this event called Big Slick, which is a fundraiser for Children's Mercy. And it's like, it's a cool place to be, and there's cool people, and there's this heartbeat of people coming back to make the community better, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think is it Riggle or Riggleman?
Rob Riggle. Yeah, Rob
Riggle. Yeah, he came and he spoke at the Eccentric, which was really great, and telling his story. I think he's a Marine, right? And so he's got a whole military background that's unique. And by the way, let's get into your business, man. Rob's a really good storyteller.
Yeah, for all those guys are. But again, we didn't make up story as sales avenue. This is the most ancient art form, is how we as humans, we're formed around campfires and storytelling and like generational transfer of knowledge. And long before the damn the iPhone came along, like we gathered in little groups and told stories, and that's how we transferred knowledge. It's how we paid tribute. And I think the way of the storyteller is people are going to do it regardless. And so as a brand, it's how do we help shape those stories? How do we help give clarity to those stories? How do we make sure that we're building connection to the right audiences so that we're telling stories to the right people? And then ultimately that has to show up in a creative outlet that moves
Yeah.
people's emotions, not just is cute or has the right color palette. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking creativity in the sense of, did we move human emotion towards a thing that we want them to do? And that's what at Guild we refer to as the brand heartbeat. It's the singular thing that pulses through an organization from the inside out. And because you know this, you do leadership coaching. Like if the team is unhealthy and doesn't give a damn, then the client experience is going to be terrible because they're going to feel it. And they're not maybe going to know how to put language to it, but if you show up at a place and the team hates working there, the clients are going to be like, this place, something's wrong. They just feel it in their gut. And so when you can align that heartbeat and make it compelling and strong, it does pulse through the whole organization.
Yeah, and you really feel like that. And even Sudeikis took that on in Ted Lasso when he talked about how, you know, they ask him like, hey, what do they do in America when the team's like lousy and like they're facing relegation? He's like, there are no relegation. They just, you know, have a terrible record and play out the last 10 games.
And nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares. Like, it's dumb. And he's like, they're like, that's stupid. And they're like, yeah, it's stupid. Like, and I would love to see this. I might be the only man in America pushing for relegation in Major League Baseball. Like, I would love to see when teams can't like put together a good product, because Kansas City's proved you can win a world championship. You can be right there at the top.
That's right. Yeah.
In a relatively small market. They've done it before. George Brett days, they were great. They came back around again, just like, 10, 12 years ago. And they compete, and it's really good. The Blue Jays proved it last year with the Canadian dollar and the challenge you face there. And I'm just telling you, Louisville, Salt Lake City, Charlotte, Buffalo, they can prove that they belong in that league if you give them a chance. And so it would be so fun to me that when teams stink, like there's a consequence for that, for being awful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the NBA is facing it in real time right now. They're like, what do we do with all the teams tanking? And it's like, well, there's no consequence. There's no real repercussion. And I think you're right.
And they get favored, right? Because if I tank, I get a better draft choice.
100%. Yeah, I get more lotto balls in the machine. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Back to your Sudeikis comment. Chapter 6 of the book, it's titled "Curiosity is a Superpower."
Yeah.
And I tell the story. I literally just ripped it off of YouTube of when Ted Lasso, when he's at the bar with Rupert and Rebecca, and it's the dart scene, right?
Yes.
And Rupert's talking shit. He's got all sorts of assumptions, and Ted's throwing the darts with his right hand. And then all of a sudden he's like, I mean, it's just brilliant copywriting. It's brilliant storytelling. And he goes, oh, I forgot I'm left-handed. And then he goes on to bang out 3 bullseyes or whatever. He beats Rupert. And at the end, he's telling a story about, and obviously, kind of that famous line of be curious, not judgmental. And he told this story about how he played darts with his dad and he had this whole thing. And Rupert just assumed that he couldn't play darts. And so from a storytelling standpoint, it's like it all does start with curiosity, being genuinely interested in the experience and the perspective of another.
I really love this. Let's talk about your favorite ad that really gets to the heart, that really makes somebody think. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes, because I always think about these ads that just really speak to me, man. I mean, obviously Nike did a great job with Just Do It years ago, right? Like that meant a lot to somebody. Something like, hey man, stop talking about it. Get the trash out of your head. Like you could fill in the blank, everything you were thinking, and then just do it, right? And for us people who can tend to push that off, and delay and do all that, right? Nope, just do it, get it done. And that quote of, don't wait for tomorrow, which you could get done today, or paraphrasing that. But there's the advertising that means something. And one of the best advertises I remember was when the iPod came out. The iPod came out, and it was 10,000 songs in your pocket.
Yes.
And it was a feature. It's a feature, right? But it does meet your heart, right? Because you and I back then, we're not taking our albums with us, right? Hey, we got vinyl, baby.
Totally.
What are we gonna do? I'm gonna run down with my cart full of vinyl over to my buddy Justin's house and we're listening to music. Now I got it in my little pocket, 10,000 songs in my pocket. Like that's an emotional, physical, there's all these things going on with it. And you're like, dang, even though it's a feature of it, they're kind of selling a feature, but they're really selling the heartstrings of that and a physical ailment that's just been relieved.
Yeah, and I'm like dying to talk here, and I didn't listen very well because I'm like, there's when you say that it's a feature, you're 100% right. What's also true is they could have said able to store 10,000 songs, and it would have felt different than it said 10,000 songs in your pocket. Yeah, and one very practical thing we talk to our clients about all the time is audit how many times your external messaging says the word you, Y-O-U, as opposed to insert company name. And Apple's the best.
Us, yeah.
100%. Apple's the best that's ever done it. And Steve Jobs was very intentional in his, that copy was labored over. Those are 4 or 5 short little words that sound easy to say, but it's like this damn wrestling match to go 10,000. Yeah, we do want to talk about the like, it's this little ass thing. What's meaningful about it? Oh, 10,000 songs in your pocket. Because ultimately then back to the 16-year-old independence, it's like, oh damn, I can listen to whatever I want. I can listen to 10,000 different songs. I can take that on the road with me. I can take that to the mall with me back when we went to the mall. And then the second thing, this is awkward, but I took my shoe off when you were talking about Nike. I've got a pair of low top Jordan runners that have our give a damn green color on them. And when you said what ad comes to mind, the first one that popped into my brain was a big ass billboard in Iowa City last March. And it had a picture of Caitlin launching a 3-pointer from the logo.
Yeah.
And it had, I'm telling you, it's like 4 or 5 story tall building, just this huge poster, banner. And at the top, I think it was the top right, has the Nike swoosh and the Iowa Hawkeyes logo. It's literally it. Doesn't say anything. Doesn't say one single word. It's just a picture of Caitlin and those two logos. And my guess is, our daughters played hoops, our son played hoops, but my guess is that every damn grandpa, all the way down to toddler girl and everybody in between who drove by that on the way to Carver Arena, I think that's what it's called, saw that and they felt something. Did it increase Nike shoe sales? Yes, probably. But what it did, it bonded these hearts together of like, I want to be like her, or holy crap, I can't believe she's from our state.
Yeah.
and it makes you feel something. And again, that's yes. Does Nike have to also at some point on their website talk about where it was made and the stitching and the quality? Of course they do. Like they're not idiots, but in their public facing marketing, it's like evoke the story and use as little words as possible.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like a couple of things come to mind on this. Like when I think, and I want to ask you a question on this about the avatar, right? The avatar of a client. Like, because we're always building this, right? We're building what's our ideal client? What do we want? What's the avatar look like? They're 18-year-old boys who love basketball and they want jerseys and they want shoes and they want this, like whatever it is, whatever your product is, right? And so you're building that out, and then you realize 18-year-old boys don't have any money, and so like you better talk to their moms and who's buying them for them, right? Where's dad? So then you realize you're kind of marketing to two people in this, right? So there's that challenge of I've got to make the kids say this is cool and hip, and I've got to get the money, the wallet behind them, dad or mom, to be like, yeah, okay, I'll buy this for you, right? And so they either got to come sell us on why they need it, why I got to have it because everybody's got one, right?
Yes.
Or what it's going to be. I think that's always an interesting concept. So let's talk about like once someone's developed that, who that avatar is, who do I got to sell to? How do they get their story right to make it? Like what's a little bit, and you don't have to give away secret sauce here, but like what is a little bit of that human first brand blueprint that people really got to understand? Like now I know who, and these are the humans, right? These are the humans I've got to address. And what by thinking, what do they want? What's going to trigger their heartstring? What's going to make them feel?
Yes. And Trent, you just walked the road. There's no secrets. There aren't any secrets. It's the work of doing it. And so at every single project, we start with, we call it target audience workshop, but it's what you call it persona or avatar, same thing,
Yep.
which is who is the most likely person that we want to buy our thing so that it transforms our business. Not who is right this moment the only customer we have, but what groups or specific people. And we give them a name. And then Dawn on our team, she walks the client through fears. What are their fears? So it's not just like put their age range. Oh, they're 45 to 54-year-old females. It's like, cool. What's that mean? Well, her name is Brooke. She cares about making sure that she can juggle a career and kids. She's worried about being too spread thin. She's frustrated by companies who overpromise and underdeliver. Whatever. We just go through this whole thing. And so there's certainly demographic information you got to get clear on, but ultimately it's psychographic and it's psychological and it's motivational. And then we do a really simple thing called head, heart, and gut, which is what do we need to do to appeal to their head? Because that's going to be part of the process. What do we need to do to appeal to their heart? Because that's part of the process. And ultimately, what do we need to do to appeal to their gut, their instincts, their energy check, right? And so once we get that tight, and typically with almost every company, that gets distilled into about 3, maybe 4 core buckets. In our business, we've got 4. And so we can then shape our story towards those people. And the story doesn't change in substance, but it does change in style. If I'm hanging out with my Mizzou buddies that I graduated college with, I'm the same person, but I talk differently to them. And we have more depth than if I am walking into a brand new meeting with a client. Same person, but I'm going to present myself differently. I'm going to use different words. If I'm having an intimate conversation with my wife versus a conversation with a neighbor at a grocery store, they're different. Same person, different. And so the same's true for a brand story. It's one solid heartbeat that then has to get reflected or pulsed back into the target audience at different points in time. And ultimately, it's like, no, it's not a damn magic pill. It's not easy. It's not fast. Like relational connectivity cannot be microwaved. You have to be intentional about continuing to saturate and tell that story. And ultimately, Trent, the secret of it is, which is every great business has been built on this, is the push at some point doesn't come from the brand itself. It becomes from the brand's customers. And they go into their pockets of the internet or the real world and say, holy crap, have you heard about those new Jordans? and they're like, I want to be part of that. I'd like to shoot baskets like Caitlin Clark. And then I buy those or the iPod or whatever. And so, yeah, of course, there's a brand influx of power, but then at some point it starts to transform into this thing generates its own momentum and energy because we get to continue to delight the customer, not just push our damn product down people's advertising channels.
You talk about the heart. I mean, at the bottom, we're going to scroll across here. This is where you can go email Justin at guildcollective.com, receive the first chapter of Give a Damn, of course, available on all your major networks and, of course, Amazon. So you can check that out. So when we talk about that, of course, in the book, you've covered a little bit of this, right? Like you're talking about these subject lines right here in the book about how care transform. And care is a little bit about, giving a damn about what your client thinks about, this isn't about us. It's not about me. It's about, and I think companies do tend to look, we're always looking at ourselves in the mirror. And there's that time where we don't, we gotta like, hey, you gotta look outside and go like, it doesn't matter what you reflect back. It's what they reflect back. Right. And so, there's that challenge because there's gap in that. We talked a little bit about that. I really love as you talk about the heart story, your dad, right? Like you have a great story about your dad, strong guy, and he's got a heart issue. And they're like, hey, listen, I don't know if you know or not, but like, I'm going to, get this thing checked out. And it's like, oh no, this is some serious stuff right now. So tell us a little bit about that story.
Yeah, I mean, it actually, I didn't write about this part on LinkedIn, but we had a group of guys, just friends and neighbors and clients, and just a bunch of dudes that were in my backyard the night before that happened, and then we were having whiskey and cigars and a big fire pit, and he came up our big hill, and he was like, oh gosh, at the time he was 73, I think, and again, he's fit, he's active, he's always taking good care of himself, and he's a stubborn Kansas farm boy at heart. And so he just did what any stubborn Kansas farm boy would do, and he went to sleep. And then the next morning he wakes up, and he owned a daycare center, and so he was getting ready to drive out and go to work and get stuff for the daycare. And he was like, he literally, I mean, this is a true story. He was like, I'm going to swing through the ER, like have them check
like
out.
It's like it's a drive-through.
Yeah. Like he's picking up a pair of, like a prescription or something. And he's like, I'm gonna have him check out this pain in my chest, but I'm probably fine. And so he goes in, gets seen, and they're like, yo, damn, like older guy, heart problems, pain in the chest and the left arm. Like, we got to get this dude seen.
Numb.
Yeah. And so thank God they're competent and did great work at North Kansas City Health, and they diagnosed him. And they weren't just caring in the niceness sense. They were caring in the competence and the clarity sense. And they did whatever, EKG scan, the whole deal. And they're like, yo, you're not going anywhere. Actually, your ass is going straight upstairs to surgery. And he was, he's kind of like stubborn and defensive. He's like, no, this can't be. and he was, I tell the story on LinkedIn, which is like, there's a big distinction between being nice and being kind. And the as Brene Brown has so perfectly put it, clear is kind. They were clear with him. This is serious. This is not something to F around with. You are not going to work. I don't care what you want to do. We care about you enough to tell you the truth and put you on a bed and take you upstairs and cut your sternum open. Yeah. And it's like, talk about a straighten up moment, right?
Yeah.
And of course, that's at its most like human seriousness. But the same is true for all of us in the way that we parent our kids, love our spouses, have conversations with colleagues. I have been so unkind by being nice and like not telling people hard things in my career that it's embarrassing. I write about it in the book sometimes. It's called, Kim Scott calls it ruinous empathy. It's like, I'll just kind of avoid this by being really nice and hope it gets better, and it never gets better.
Yeah.
And instead of
strategy, right?
That's right.
And I think, like, listen, it's not like I want ill will for you. And I have this story where I tell about this, where people were like, hey, I want to play in the major leagues. And they're like, yeah, you think you better follow me back and get your degree. And, and I felt like a lot of people told me, I can't do it. I can't make it. Mm-hmm. What they were doing is they were giving me like, hey, listen, man, very few make it. And you need to have a little bit of a backup plan. Like, this is great. You should kind of go for it. I think I missed the part where like you should go for it. You got everything you need to get it done. But they were important people to me, and I think they were being kind, and it felt cruel at the time. It felt like, man, everybody's telling me I'm not fast enough, I'm not big enough, I'm not strong enough, and all I'm hearing as a 15-year-old boy is I'm not enough, right?
That's right. That's right.
And so I think that challenge is that, and I think this is one of the biggest challenges right now in media, which is your game, right? Like, I mean, there's a lot of noise, man. And I think as a father of 5 children, the both of us, and by the way, this is pretty cool because Justin and I run the exact opposites, right? I have 4 boys and he has 4 girls, and then I got the girl, he got the boy, and then we have another girl and another boy after that. So so awesome. I don't know what we were thinking, but that's how it worked out. And it's pretty awesome to have these big families and great kids. And so when you really come back to that, man, it's like being tough love is still love. Like, it is still, man, like I got to give it to you straight. And as fathers of these big families, that is protection, man. I am going to give you some tough love. Like, no, you're not going to that party tonight. I'm going to tell you right now. Like, this is not happening on my watch. I know what's going on right now. I know what's happened in the past over there. We got eyes. We got ears to hear. We're very well informed. and this isn't a place you should be. And then you can be mad at me and you get that. And then they come in, and I can remember kids going, oh yeah, man. Yeah. Someone drank too much. You got really sick, and, puking blood over the carpet. The parents are really upset. They're talking about suing parents. And they're like, hey, kind of glad you weren't there. Well, I guess maybe it was good I wouldn't go. Yeah, right. Like you gotta. There's some discernment.
You bet.
I think that challenge of, our kids, man, like that's a superpower today, to discernment of what voice you should listen to. But now in your media world, we also have this. People are telling these good stories. How do I discern the stories and the people I should trust and listen to?
Ooh, what a great question. Yeah, on the parenting front, I couldn't agree more that and I wasn't. Brooke, my wife, was much more the discerner and the tough love giver, thank God, because there's a lot of times I'm like, it's probably fine if you're on social media when you're 14, and so I've got some of my own regrets on not being. I erred on the nice side as opposed to the kind side, and I'm in progress and growing there. But on the brand piece, yeah, dude, it's exhausting. Like, it is so noisy, and I think there's a much longer conversation, but I think the shortest way into it is we would never be attracted to a friend, spouse, colleague if they just were incessant and noisy in an actual face-to-face conversation. But that's how a lot of brands are showing up in every form, digital, physical, all of it. And they're just like, please, and it's desperate. Please, for the love of God, buy our stuff. That's what we need you to.
Desperation.
Yeah, and it's like, it sucks. It sucks for everybody. They don't like doing it, and the person receiving the message is annoyed, as opposed to the brands. And I talk about Chick-fil-A in the book a lot because they're an obvious like care as competitive advantage mindset type of a company, and their lines are long, and their team is engaged, and their food is good, and their experience is awesome. And they don't, yes, do they run ads? Yeah, of course. They run like commercials and stuff on occasion, but not with like, hey, please come here and get 6 chicken sandwiches for the price of 1. They don't run sales. They don't discount. They just tell stories about, hey, we've created this restaurant where you can come to 6 days a week, not 7, because we give all of our people a day off. But they're absolutely destroying their competition in every meaningful metric: team engagement, team turnover, retention, growth, revenue per location, profitability per store, all of it, right? And it's like they aren't desperate. And is there a quick fix to get out of desperation? No, I'm sorry. It's like reset. If you got to fire people, fire them. Get back to the basics of, I want to create an experience for the people who buy my thing, and I want them to feel delight, because the antidote to noise is delight. And when a client experiences delight, they go, "Oh, I've been waiting for you." And all this sea of nonsense, you've helped me feel good about my purchase, whatever that is: coaching services, insurance, banking, fast food. It doesn't matter. It's industry agnostic. We are craving human connection that makes us feel delight, and we suck at it generally because we're so damn incessantly like nauseating about pushing our crap.
Wow. And it's funny, man. I talk a lot about Chick-fil-A because, I just worked with the U.S. bobsled.
Yeah, Canes is great too, by the way.
Yeah, Canes, big supporter. Shout out to Canes. And and
same concept, simple menu.
The same thing going. Simple, right? Simple scale. So you can also check out the link below in our show notes where you can give to the Skeleton Group and Andy Whittier's Life Head First. Going to be a super book coming out. So yeah, when I think about that, like, Canes is second now at $5.5 million per store. And they figured out like simple scales, and they've got pretty good customer service, right? You come in
really good,
friendly.
Yes.
It's a nice atmosphere. They got music going. They get all the local stuff going on in every store. Yep. They pinpoint the local genre, what's going on, and like, hey, we're gonna come into your neighborhood. 100%. and we're going to deliver chicken. Like, oh, I'd like a burger. Yeah, we don't do burgers. We do chicken fingers. They
That's
have
it.
4 things on their menu, right?
Not even chicken nuggets.
That's
Yeah,
it. Yeah. There's 4 things, man. That's it. Like, and like if you want a chicken sandwich, they put 3 chicken fingers on the Texas toast, and that's your sandwich.
Texas toast.
So, it's like, that's it, man. There are 4 things. So it's so good. And, watching Chick-fil-A closely over these years. And of course, now you go, Chick-fil-A is number 1 at like about $9 million per
$9.
store.
Yeah.
And then 5.5 Canes, which is a pretty big drop off. I mean, especially Chick-fil-A.
But it's still
6
huge.
days a week.
Yes.
6 days a week they're doing it.
Insane.
And then from there, it's down to like, I think Bojangles Culver's is right in there, or Whataburger Culver's is right there. Bojangles is 5. And they're sitting like that 3.7, 3.6, which is legitimate per store. Like, that's awesome.
Totally.
Like, I think Culver's is following that a place where you can go and feel welcomed and feel trust and feel like you're going to have a good experience, and the people are going to be kind to you and nice, and you're going to get something that's quality, and I'm going to get what I paid for. And, hey, it could stop your heart and its track, but like, you're going to get something that you're really going to enjoy. And you're going to be delighted. Though. You're going to be delighted, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like the reality is, it's such a, if I can just say the cuss word I like the most, is like, it's such a damn low bar. It's a low bar. And the people, Culver's a great example. Canes is a great example. Our son
is it a low bar? I mean, like, how come nobody can do it?
Because I think it requires you to give a damn. And I think inherently I think we drift towards apathy. I don't think we ever drift towards strength and health and proactivity. I think we drift towards apathy and not caring. I think we just fall off, and it does take effort and attitude to give a damn. But the ones like Chick-fil-A and Canes is a great example. It's like, you roll up, the second you roll your window down, it's like, hey, you want some chicken today? And it's like,
they're ready.
And it's like, you feel, it's kind of weird, but you feel better than the examples of other places where you roll up and they're like, what can I get you? Right? And it's like, it's the same staff. You got to staff it. You got to put humans there. Like, give them the right things to say that connect to the customers.
Yeah. And I think I remember reading this back in the day. Had a friend of a friend really, in EO, who they had one of the franchisees come in and speak to their forum. And he was like, one of our hiring tactics is, if the person does not smile in the first 5 minutes of the interview, they will be eliminated. Is it 2 minutes?
I'm saying peace. Yeah, peace.
Peace out. Like, we do not need you. Like, the people go, oh, my dad made me come and fill out an application, and silly and woe is me and blah, blah, blah. They're like, hey, I'm here for a job. They're like, how about it? This is what I love doing, like smiling, enjoying themselves. Like, we're like going, you've already made it through the first interview because you're a joyful person. Like, you're willing to give. And I think that smile is like something that, you do it really well, Justin. Like, you smile and you give that to people all the time. You're walking down the street and you give that away. Like, and they're like, oh, no, man, hey, how you doing, man? I don't even know you. And people are saying, hey, how you doing? Walking down the street. You gave that to them. And it's an opening to be like, yeah, I'd love to talk with you. How you doing, man? Like,
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
We miss that. We've missed that connection. Like, you go to the big cities, the New York and Chicago, everybody's got their head down. No one talks to one another. It's not like Kansas City, right?
Yeah, and it's our kids make so much fun of me because I'll even be like running, my little 4-mile path out of the neighborhood, left again, turn around halfway point. And there will be like someone else running or jogging or walking, and I'll be like, yo, what's up? Or like fist bump them. You're so weird, dude. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, but we're just craving human encouragement and connectivity. And that's what I mean. It's a low bar. It's not that it's a low bar because it's hard. It's a low bar because most people we're head down on the phone and we can't get out of our damn our own self enough to give somebody a small little gift, a small little spark.
Well, let's talk about the human connection, because one of the things I've seen in my life, us having big families, have you ever taken the phones away for like 2 days from your kids? Just everybody doesn't have one. And after like 2.5 hours, it's a miraculous
Crazy.
paradigm shift of personality that no one's ever seen before. Like interacting in games, talking, having fun, getting out the cards, figuring out a card trick, doing things that they don't ever do because they've always got little trusty, oh, I'll go to my
Yeah.
phone, my go-to, my
Yeah.
go-to. And if you
Yeah.
take it away, the first 2 hours are absolutely painful.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
it's almost like a withdrawal,
You
right?
bet. It really is. Chemically, it is a withdrawal.
Yeah. And then connection happens. Like it just like it sweeps in and it's like, hey, if I got nothing else, like Justin, like why don't we go out and play hoops? Why don't we shoot some ball? You want to go play some horse? Well, what? You guys haven't played horse in 3 years. But now all of a sudden the kids are out, like, and you're like, it's amazing.
It is, man. It's amazing, and we haven't done the 2 day thing, but we're pretty consistent about at least the dinner, 4 to 5 nights a week. We kind of went through this phase where it's like we never did it because kids are so young, and now they're old enough where it's like, oh, we can do that more frequently, and it is a device free for the most part operation. But for me, man, last summer I did a 2 day silent retreat with Catholic monks in Conception Abbey. I'm not even Catholic, and I was transformed by, and it was really simple. It was like, put your phone in the room for 2 days and then you can't talk to anybody. Those are the rules. And I mean, stuff just screams to the surface when you lay down your distractions. And so I think that's exactly right for the family piece. Is like, yeah, when the phones are away, they're able to. It's not like fundamentally difficult. It just comes back. The humanity just comes back, and it starts to show up, like you're saying, playing outside, playing a card game. We've been playing Trouble. I bought it for $8 at Walmart the other night, and we just played Trouble. It takes like 15 minutes. And it's like, yeah, no phones for 15 minutes while we play Trouble. I like your 2 day idea better, but yeah, man, it's like it's all right there. The humanity is just laying dormant, ready for something to spark it again.
How do we as a brand, get their attention long enough that they'll feel that connection and take an action, that they'll actually be like, you and I, we've read great books. You wrote one, I wrote one, and I want everybody to go out and read the book and do the exercises. I did a TEDx talk called The Pain Exchange, right?
Yes.
So like at the end of every chapter, there's the pain exchange. Are you willing to be disciplined enough to actually apply what you just learned and how this applies to you? Kind of like put your phone and lock yourself in the room and see what surfaces on this subject every night. And I think that, I mean, I don't know what the percentage is, Justin, but my guess is probably 8% might actually go and do that work.
For sure.
Right? Yeah, like who's reading it and actually applying the principles?
Yeah.
You're a Godin guy. You're a Godin guy. He's got 1,000 great principles to apply. There's no way you and I are applying them all, right? Like, oh my gosh, that's a really good idea. I'm going to do something about that one day. And then one day never happens.
You got busy. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, I think it's why I rebel. Like, I hate when people say like, oh, you guys have a marketing agency, not because that's a bad phrase, but because people think marketing is this like magic elixir that, like, you wouldn't treat your tax return the way you treat your marketing people. You wouldn't like walk through, you've mentioned EO and YPO and like EOS minded folks. You wouldn't take your business strategy and be like, hey, it's gotta go like right now. Deliver me leads tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's like brand is this weird for us. We're starting to get clear on our definition of it, but brand is this weird thing that's like the business strategy is clear, and then you've got all these tactics, and the brand stands in the middle of and it is the heartbeat. It's the heartbeat of the whole business. And if you don't believe that you want to build one for the long haul, you shouldn't do it. Because you can buy some Google ads or whatever, or like flood AI with some stuff for a little bit of time and get like, it's kind of like eating Cheetos and Dr. Pepper for dinner. It will feel good for a moment, but it's not healthy. And that's where I think we're starting to coach and guide and consult these companies towards is, you want to be around for the long haul and build something that is actually healthy and vibrant and generative and has profit and has return. And that doesn't come through the microwave. It just doesn't. And so if you're interested in us being your microwave quick fix because you built a shitty organization, like we're not doing that. Like we want to help you leaders that have legacy and value live out the purpose and connect, because there is a lot of pain in the dissonance between the vision and the execution, and that's the gap brand closes.
Yeah, I love as you talk about this, with your father, the heart, with the brand, it's the heart. I'm reminded of Proverbs, right? Of guard your heart, for everything else flows from it. It's like, no, guard your brain. Like you got to be thinking right. Like, no, guard your heart. That's going to create 100%. Your thoughts. That's going to create your actions. Your actions and your thoughts flow from your heart. And I think that feels weird to people, but I like how you centered that around the heart is it. And I think probably most brands aren't protecting their heart. They don't even know what their heart is, right? They're like, right. I don't know. It's kind of, if you ask five different people, they'd say five different things. And you're like, oh,
that's right.
You guys even know who you are?
100%. And Trent, I mean, at the risk of maybe being moderately weird, vulnerable here, like this morning I read in Matthew 15, and Jesus was like roasting, and people can believe in whatever. That's not for me to judge. What I read was Jesus told his crew, his disciples, they're like, why are the Pharisees so pissed off at this thing that you said? And he's like, because they think if I eat with unclean hands, that makes me sick. What actually, he was like, but the body expels it. I'm like, that's funny. Like if you eat shitty food, you shit it out. Like that's literally what he's saying. But then he says, but what comes out of the heart, from the heart out of the mouth is how we determine if you're clean. And I'm like, whoa, like it is it's not what the mouth said, it's why the mouth said that from the heart. And I don't want to say like we're brand theologians by any means, but it is true from a business standpoint. Is if people come to us and they're like, our team doesn't like working here and we need to fix culture, and it's like, well, you can't like have enough pizza parties to like get a better culture. You have to actually develop a curiosity initiative and care for them. And it's like, well, I don't want to pay you to do that. Okay, don't then. Do it yourself. And then they don't, right? It's the same people that talk about your book. But the ones who do, who embrace that the heart of their business is for someone else besides themselves, they are the crazy paradox of all of it is they're the ones that grow. Chick-fil-A, Canes, we've used all the examples, Nike, Apple, like they care because they've been radically oriented to the delight of their customer, which by the way includes their employee. The employee is the customer. People that don't think their employees or their team members are their greatest storytellers, they're missing it. Anyway, I'll get too long-winded, but that's
I really like that. Apple's a good example, right? Because Apple's like, their customers defend them. I have conversations all the time, right, with people because I'm an Android user, and I like Apple. It's a nice brand. I like their stuff. Yeah. So I'm a little bit more intellectual than most people, so I use Android, right? So and then of course when you talk about people who use Crapple, they're ready to defend. They're like, whoa, it's Apple. Like you got to use Apple. Like and this is their clients. That maybe there's a little ego, like, hey, I use it, and
for sure.
But it's guarding the heart. Like they're now doing the work for the brand, which is impressive, right? Like that's absolutely. If you got to that point, it's like someone saying, I think this would happen too. You have a fundamental person who loves Chick-fil-A, and if you said something bad about Chick-fil-A, they'd be like, hey man, what are you talking about? Did you say something bad about their waffle fries? Because you got to be crazy. Like this is and they would be like. Ready to like, hey, this is behind the woodshed stuff, man. You want to go take it outside because you said something bad about Chick-fil-A. That is when you've really got their heart. They're defending the brand.
100%. And it's true for Apple and Nike and Chick-fil-A, these huge businesses, right? It's also what I love most about this work is like it's even more true. It's even more vibrant with the local Main Street window cleaning company, restaurant, mom and pop muffler business, roofing neighborhood, local roofer. Like the good night. I'm getting tongue tied because it's so true. Like the ability for a business to stand out in a super noisy world, through amplifying human connection and delighting customers. It sounds so easy to talk about, but we all have those experiences when a brand didn't give a damn about you. You never went back. And then you told your friends not to go there because you're like, that sucked. But the ones that you left and you felt delight, you didn't say that out loud because nobody does except us because we're weird. But when you leave a thing and you feel delight, you're like, damn, that restaurant I took our kid to for her 18th birthday, like, we're going back there. And then the next time that restaurant comes up in conversation with your neighbors, they're like, oh, we'll try that out. And it's like, is that marketing? No, it's brand. It's all the experience of your customer.
Yeah, guarding the heart, man. Guarding the heart. And making sure that everybody in the organization like goes back to that, right? And really understands that value for their customers. I think it's a big deal. It's impressive, man. Well, I'm thrilled as always to talk to Justin Ricklefs of the Guild Collective. This is Winners Find a Way. You can check out his new book, Give a Damn, that's out now. That is on Amazon. If you want to receive the first chapter of that and get a little sneak peek, you can check that out. Email Justin at guildcollective.com. And of course, as always, if you want to get on my calendar, talk a little bit about getting unstuck and growing your brand and where you're having challenges in your championship team, you can jump on my Calendly very easily and make an appointment. And for anyone who does that, spends a quick 15 minutes talking through a couple of their challenges, I always offer a free book of Flourish about, our playbook on how we help companies grow. So we do that quite a bit. And so I would definitely encourage you to hit that up and check that out. There's my Calendly right there. Justin's email right there. For everybody, first of all, thank you, Justin, to sharing some wisdom with us today, man. So good. I could dive into storytelling for hours, by the way. It's crazy.
Well, I'm grateful for you, man. It was really fun conversation. I appreciate it a lot.
You bet. So for everybody on Winners Find a Way show, thank you so much for joining. Always 10 a.m. Eastern time on my Facebook, my LinkedIn, and the Leadershipity YouTube channel. All on live on Thursdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. And then, of course, we drop our podcast every Friday on all the major networks. And so check us out, like us, share it, do all those good things. Support our skeleton man, Andy Whittier. We're super excited about them as Canes and a bunch of brands that's come along, our U.S. Olympians. We're super excited. Another big win, with the gold with the hockey teams.
Huge.
That was amazing for the men and women. So good. So we're just excited about another great Olympic Games and Winners Find a Way. And check out Justin Ricklefs. You're going to check out his book, Give a Damn. You're going to check him out, Justin at guildcollective.com, and check out his website, guildcollective.com, for all the best storytelling. And until next time, winners find a way.